So this is your first RingCon, right?
My first RingCon.
How's it going so far?
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's so much fun. So much fun to have the reaction that we got when we came out for the opening ceremony last night. It was just fantastic. It was like nothing else I've ever experienced before. So I'm having a great time.
Right. Received a warm welcome from the fans.
Yes, we did. We did.
All right. I don't know if you've got any experience for this first question, but is it like any different to work on an HBO production compared to, I don't know, like your average movie or something?
Yeah. HBO, as is, I suppose, demonstrated through how well all their programming does. They know what they're doing, and it's big. It's always big. Game of Thrones is big. The sets are big. There's a lot of crew. There's a lot of people there. We have, I think, the biggest cast in television. It's huge. It's much bigger than anything else I've ever been on. So it's nice.
So you're working quite closely with Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
What's that like? I mean, is he like teaching you anything? Are you getting a lot from him?
Well, absolutely. You know, as you do with working with any good actor, you learn things, and I've been lucky enough to learn a lot from Peter and from Jerome Flynn. But Peter's a great story, I think, because this show has allowed his talent to be showcased properly, and he's not looked at as a dwarf actor now. He's looked at as an actor who is a dwarf, which is the way it should be. He's a fantastic talent, and he's been ignored for far too long. So it's nice to see that he's finally getting recognised.
Do you have any inside stories that's happening on set with Peter?
I have plenty, but I can't say.
Oh, that's
I'm sorry.
So don't take this the wrong way. So you're rather young.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any problem with all the nudity in Game of Thrones?
No, absolutely not.
You're enjoying it.
No, I'm loving life. Yeah, no problem with it at all. The show needs it to work, so I have no problem with it at all.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why Game of Thrones is so successful, because of violence and nudity?
Yeah, I think it's because it doesn't pull any punches. You know, if you go into a brothel, you're going to see people having sex. So why not? Like, why not show people having sex in a brothel if it's realistic? If somebody gets stabbed through the back of the head, then their face is going to explode. So why not show their face exploding? It's fairly truthful stuff, and I think that's why it's become so successful, because it doesn't glamorise it.
Yeah, I mean, it also happens in the books, but it's something different to explicitly show it.
Yeah.
But just reading about it.
I suppose it is, but sex sells.
Yeah, same old rule. So how did you end up being Podrick Payne? Did you go to some kind of casting? Did they approach you?
I was at a casting, and I auditioned for Nina Gold's assistant, Robert Stern, who's a lovely man, and was recalled the next day. Originally I read for 2 other parts, and then I didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks, and then I was brought back down to read for Podrick, and I met David and Dan, who run the show, David Benioff and Dan Weiss, and Frank Dolger, who's one of the head producers, and read for Podrick. And then a few days after that, I got the phone call asking if I wanted to be in the show. So it was fairly straightforward, but it was very exciting.
So you're happy that you ended up being Podrick Payne, or would you prefer to be Robb Stark? Or
Nah. Robb Stark died last year.
You know what's gonna happen to you.
Podrick's still here.
Yeah, right. You read all the books. I think you said it yesterday. So did you prepare for the role, or did you just enjoy the books privately?
I enjoyed the books privately. The way I play Podrick isn't. I wouldn't say it's a mirror of what's in the books, because me being so much older than he is, it wouldn't have worked. But they're great books to read, as in terms of entertainment and pleasure. They're fantastic.
Do you give do you share your inside knowledge of the books with actors who haven't read them?
No, I let other people do what they have to do. It's a personal thing. If how you prepare for a part, it's nobody else's business how somebody else prepares for a part.
Do you have any contact to the author, George Martin? Is he on set? Does he take any kind of?
No,
not at all.
Never met him.
Oh, that's a pity.
One day, maybe.
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 See how long he's sticking around.
Mm.
Right. So, who do you think is gonna end up on the Iron Throne ultimately?
Who do I think is going to end up on the Iron Throne?
Or who deserves it the most?
We had this at the Q&A. I think the person who deserves it the most is Brienne of Tarth, despite the fact she's not in line to be on the throne. I think she'd be a great queen. I would say Daenerys. Daenerys is probably the girl who's going to end up on the throne. You know, she says it's hers by right, and it is really. So if she comes back with some dragons, I don't think anybody's going to argue with her. Probably not.
So your character is still alive, also in the books?
In the books?
I think so.
The last time you see Podrick in the books, he is hanging by his neck.
Right. Well, we do.
Then you don't.
What do you think's going to happen? If you could make a wish? What's going to happen?
Oh, if I could make a wish, it would be that Podrick gets himself out of that mess and goes on to live through the rest of the books and become a knight and all this kind of stuff. But whatever happens, happens.
Knowing Game of Thrones, it's not likely.
Who knows? Who knows?
All right. Did you prepare in any way for the part of Podrick Payne? Anything special?
No. I had an idea of the part from reading the books, and I just thought of the best way to adapt that character to fit a guy of my age. So that's what I did. I used to be quite shy and nervous when I was younger, before I started acting, and I used that, but there wasn't a great deal of preparation involved. There wasn't enough time. Whereas you get cast and then you get flown out a couple of days later.
Right. So at RingCon you get all these different franchises. There's Lord of the Rings and
Yep.
Hobbit and Grimm and whatever. Do you follow any of the other franchises, or is it just main of Game of Thrones for you?
I'm one of the biggest Lord of the Rings fans on the planet.
Oh, nice.
And I love The Hobbit as well. Yeah, and Merlin. Merlin was great when I watched that. But Lord of the Rings is the thing that I'm most excited about, other than Game of Thrones this year.
Right. RingCon is just a place for you then.
It is.
So you've met a couple of the fans who are here?
I've met loads of the fans.
Right.
Loads of them. Loads and loads of them. I was last night. We had the opening ceremony and we got a fantastic reaction. And then, you know, there was the party downstairs, and I spoke to a lot of people, and it's nice to have the opportunity to interact with them.